Welcome back to the channel. Guessing by the title of the video, you guys are wondering what I'm going to say. And I think personal training is the most underrated job for young adults. Change my mind. All jokes aside, um, you know, personal training in general is a very it's obviously a service-based job, but there's a lot of skills, benefits. I mean, you can really go on and on and on about it. But the main reason why I do believe this is the most underrated job for young adults is number one, if you're a college student, it's highly flexible. You can make your own hours. There's an easy barrier to entry. Most personal training certifications don't take more than a few weeks. Some of them even take they have like a 3-4 day course, and then obviously you have to take a test at a testing center, but you can get that certification relatively easily. If you do start with a commercial gym, which there's pros and cons, they will pay for your certification, which is a plus. But as far as flexibility, pay, not bad, especially if you're selling your own training and you're going private. You will be able to get a lot more for your dollar, but then you're going to have to find a gym to, do your training at, pay maybe a monthly fee or even a per session fee. There's a lot of different gyms out there that you can find resources like that. But as far as the skills that you're building as you're doing this job are going to basically carry over into so many other careers, especially if you go into leadership or training, or sorry, not training, but sales, management, entrepreneurship. I mean, there's just so many different translatable skills, because you're building a lot of interpersonal skills with your clients. You're building a lot of solid connections, and that's actually one of the main benefits of being a trainer is you are working one-on-one with this person and you are helping them change their physical body. You're building trust with this person. You would be amazed on the type of connections that you can build with people by being their trainer. I mean, it's ridiculous. And a good strategy is pick a location or an area where there's just more affluence, there's more wealth, there's more money. People have money to spend for training. You will be rubbing elbows with some of the most successful people in your area. And by doing so, you'll be developing amazing connections. And, there's an old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. At the end of the day, if you're really good at making connections, even if you're slightly mediocre at something, it can make up for it. And then obviously over time, you could develop into your role or whatever you're doing. But that initial connection building skill is absolutely imperative, especially in this highly competitive market, right? You want to set yourself aside from just a normie individual. And how do you do that? Making connections with well-connected people who have a lot of power and influence and wealth. And being a trainer and building trust with your clients is the number one way to build connections, but also this the spread of word of mouth, right? Imagine you get a high level clientele, you treat them well, you give them great results, you're just a superstar trainer. What do you think they're going to tell their friends? They're going to tell them about their amazing trainer that got them all these great results. And next thing you know, you have people basically contacting you for training who have heard your performance, right? And now you're making even more connections, and it's just like a snowball effect. A lot of people think word of mouth is overrated because of social media and, email and text and Twitter and X or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, word of mouth is responsible for a majority of communication. There's actually a lot of research behind it. I think there's the Chelsea Group in 2016 did a meta-analysis, a in-depth research study on how communication spread, and 90% of it was word of mouth, even though social media was pretty prevalent in 2016. But as far as the flexibility goes when you're younger, obviously it's a super duper important thing, right? If you're going to college, you have classes, maybe you're working a second job, maybe, maybe you're, you have some other type of family obligation. Personal training is not a 9 to 5 job. You can basically pick your own hours when you want to work. So that's also a huge, huge benefit. And, as far as the skills that you're developing, like the interpersonal skills, in the beginning, a part of it is just sales, right? And selling in general is also super duper underrated. I know a lot of people talk about it, on social media today, but every single thing in your life is basically sales at some point or another. I mean, just think about what an interview is. You're literally selling yourself to the employer to see if they want to hire you, right? So you have to have that skill to really go anywhere, right? Even if you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't want to climb the corporate ladder. Okay, so you don't do any interviews, but okay, now you have your own business. Okay, what's the product? Is it a product or a service? Well, guess what? You're going to have to sell either one. So you're going to have to understand sales at some point or another. But I mean, if you guys really think there is a better job for a young adult who is, in college, needs a flexible schedule, needs good pay, comment below what you think that is. Because in my opinion, personal training is it. It's where it's at. I mean, just people skills, connections, building clientele, pay, flexibility, and at the same time, you're learning about the human body. You can, excuse my cat. You can, you're in an environment where you're also working on your body. You're teaching people about obviously getting into shape themselves. So it also can be a personally motivating environment for yourself. And obviously, when you see your clients succeeding, it's a very good motivational dump for you. And it really can help you in a lot of ways that a lot of people don't realize, from the outside looking in. But if you guys think that there is a better job for younger adults, college students, whatever, I know that a lot of people are probably thinking serving in their mind, but to be honest, when you're serving, you can make a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. And the schedule can be flexible. And you can also pick an affluent area, a fancy restaurant, and, you can rake in a lot of tips. But are you building long-term connections with your clientele and your customers? It's a lot harder to do that when you're a server because, okay, if someone's a regular, maybe they're coming in once a week, but are they always going to come to your table, or is your coworker getting their table? It's kind of a little more challenging to build a strong bond with that type of clientele because on how the business runs. But obviously, when you're a trainer, it's one-on-one, right? So you're spending a lot of quality, close time with that person, and you're able to build a very strong, long-term connection with that person. And at the end of the day, everything in this world is connections. That's it. So if you guys have any ideas, I would love to hear them. Drop a comment below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, thumbs up, and, think about it.